6:18 on the 23rd of July, the day the new Prime Minister takes over, and here we are at Anderby Creek, halfway along the England coast path from Skegness to Mablethorpe. So it's back over the dyke and the little hill along our carpeted path here. We have a little mini weather station at the side. This is not part of the England coast path, I should point out. When we get over the hump, then we shall be back on the way. Top speed to Mablethorpe. So that was the way I came last night, early afternoon yesterday. That's where the little path to the bungalows on the court come out, and this is the lane going to Mog's Eye. Used to be a Vic Hallam bungalow. Big bungalow for sale here, backs onto the sand dunes. Don't think I've seen that one before. I'm going through the wood in a moment to Mog's Eye. Now, just before Mog's Eye and just before the wood, there's a caravan and a bungalow. I think the bungalow is still standing, but the caravan, although lived in at one time for holidays, has gradually disintegrated. So this path is narrower than I remember it, just here. Certainly I remember driving along here and through the wood and out into the Mog's Eye area. Must be about 40 years ago. There used to be some sort of tennis centre, and the tennis courts around here. Looks as if the tennis court area might still be here, although certainly not a tennis court. So, approaching the wood, we're very well grown up here. That is the land where the caravan used to be. It looks as if this is maintained to some extent. The grass is not overgrown, and there's the bungalow. So we come to the entrance to the wood. A big board. What's that all about? Parish Council newsletters. So through the wood. Coming towards the end of the wood now. We've got some signs here. Public footpath each way and England coast path at a slight angle. So going through here. And out into the, well, it used to be a picnic area, but it's grown up a lot. Now the board, the signpost did indicate this way. Looking at the definitive plan, it did go towards that signpost over there and then turn. I don't know that it makes much difference. Anyway, it's labelled this way, so I'll come this way. Some indication that it can still be used as a picnic area. and the sign does indicate that it's this way to post and then along the track. Another bit of a site being developed here. It's developed into quite a sandy track now, along which cars have not driven for a while, I think, so that section of Bollock's Eye is kept car free by the look of it now. The view over the fields, looking towards the walls, slight mist in the distance, and that's the track that I'm on. 6:30, and we can see why no cars come along here. It's blocked off. We come to the car parking area. Is it Marsh Yard? So we can't get through the barrier, we have to go around the side and on to the tarmacked area. There was a notice that said no access to the beach. See defence operations. Onto the tarmac track. I'll have a look over at the sea in a moment. Marsh Yard and the Anchor's Path sign. Another sign for the Lincolnshire Coastal Country Park, and I divert slightly from the England Coast Path. The footpath to Roman Bank that way, half a mile, and over the dunes to see the sea. 6:35. Retracing my steps through the car park, and again that's fenced off, so you can't get any further. Now at the end of the easy walking section I used to have to go onto the beach. There was no way through, so it'd be interesting to see if that's still the same. It used to bring me out at Tuttoff Car Terrace, the end of the car parking area, onto the picnic area, and then the track getting towards Sandilands, Huttoft first and then Sandilands. This was the point where I couldn't travel any further on the paths, so I had to turn right onto the sand. Now that's obviously overgrown, not the way now. So we've turned England Coast Path sign on the fingerboard. It doesn't say that I turn here, but we do, because just there at the edge of the field there's another sign, and so that's the way round to avoid going onto the sand along the path, along the field edge. A good path, still on the field path. Coming to the end of the field path we have a bridge. It's a very humid morning, the television talking about the hottest night ever, So is this the new bridge? Over the bridge, a bit more path, picking up a path which looks as if it's been here some time. But prior to this I would have been on the beach. We're going to be approaching Hut-off Car Terrace soon. Still on the same track, lots of snails on the ground. I've not trodden any yet. The path turns, not down that way, but onwards this way. More of the same. I suspect this must be missing Hut-off Car Terrace. Must be behind the dunes on the seaward side. Coming to the end of that track, the sign looks as if it makes us turn to the right. Possibly this is the vehicle access to the car terrace. A mini picnic area. The coast path signs. Anderby Creek 1 mile. It's now 6:51. So up the slippery slope. There's the sign. There's the car terrace. I'm surprised that that hasn't been included in the walk. We've got no parking here between 10 PM and 6 AM, and that's the way the coast path goes along the car terrace this side, which I think used to be for surfers, etc. With a board here telling us to follow the cycle path all the way from Hut-off to Sandilands, Sutton Sea, and finally to Mablethorpe. So that's been utilised in the England coast path. I think some of these have been parked overnight. Whether they're supposed to or not, I don't know. They look as if they've been here some time. I guess they've not all arrived by 6:53 this morning. So a vehicle here. I guess the path carries on along this track. Ooh, a good long track, as far as you can see. The dunes on the right have been built up over the past few years. When I last came along here, it dropped down to the sea straight away, I believe. There are certain tracks that just go on forever. Look at this, as far as you can see. So trying to make good time along here. It is a little bit sandy, so not too easy. Could be better. Brush the sand off. And on the track goes. And to the left hand side, away from the sea, we see that this section is just fields. The road up to Sandilands, and the track coming to an end in this section very soon. The section coming up is more as I remember it. But no steps visible yet. The level of the sand hiding any steps that were there. Still continuing along the cycleway. Welcome to the access towards Hut-off and then Sandilands golf course. Got to the golf course area here. Some activity on the beach with vehicles driving down. Gateway, Fairway Cottage pullover, and continue anyway along the path. Most of the people I'm seeing are walking the dogs. It's 7:05 now. Although it's not easy to see, there's quite a steep drop between the sandy area where the tracks are and where the sea is. There's quite a steep drop there. Sutton Sea in the distance. Another pullover area. Another sluice gate. Boyd Grift outfall. No signs indicating the coast path since the car terrace, but then I suppose the way is quite clear. But it's nice to have repeater signs. A little entrance here, private access, Dune Cottage. You can see through the grasses. We come across a few seating areas now. Approaching the beach chalets, day chalets on the seafront at Sandilands. Seriously destroyed in gales and floods. 30 years ago now, I don't know, long time ago. Not the 1953 ones, I don't think they'd be here then anyway. So dropping down the slope to join the next promenade, golf course promenade. The Hamptons beside the sea. All fairly substantial ones now. Sandy toes and sunny kisses. Gone fishing, gone sailing. Captain Cook's kitchen. This is the golf course headquarters, Sandilands Golf Club. The road enters Sandilands. And we have the coast path sign, good, and onwards. Looks as if somebody's painting one of the chalets here. The grasses have established themselves in the sand. You can see clearly not coming right up to the wall. Are there steps under all this? I seem to recall there were steps here. The Sandilands Road, the bottom of the steps. Sandilands corner coming up. And looking out to sea. Certainly all these concrete promenades are hard on the soles of your feet. It got so warm yesterday, that's why I had to stop after 8 miles, finishing off the 8 miles this morning. The sun just coming out now, 7:20. Sandilands corner. Sandilands main pullover sea gate. An interesting observation point here. Described as a nearby holiday bungalow to let, Sleep 6, Goosebumps. Shiver me timbers. The Lobster Pot. Mablethorpe to Sutton-on-Sea Promenade Cycleway. That was called Sandhurst Promenade. Coming to the end of that section of promenade, on to the next one. Quite a complicated arrangement of barriers here. Coast and Country Trail from Huttoff Car Terrace through Sandilands, Sutton-on-Sea, Trusthorpe and Mablethorpe. So for at Sandilands it says it's 5 kilometres to Mablethorpe. What does it say about Sandilands? Sandiland is mainly a quiet residential area with its famous links golf course. Mablethorpe is a lively summer seaside resort with a superb award-winning blue flag beach. Sutton-on-Sea offers the visitor an amusement arcade-free area with local produce shops along the high street. Lincolnshire Coastal Country Park work on the ground began in 2010. It provides an attractive destination for people who like the countryside and wild, uncommercialised coast. You could certainly say that about Anderby Creek. So, round this, I think that's the little village, the old properties at Sandilands. It's now 7:30. And this is called Church Lane, Sutton-on-Sea. Oh, so those properties weren't at Sandilands, Sutton-on-Sea, on the very edge of Sutton-on-Sea. Structures on the edge, South Promenade. Just gone past is an invalid carriage taking a dog for a walk, and then a cyclist. Otherwise very few people around, nobody around. This looks like one of the main accesses from Sutton-on-Sea. Considerable work going on here, a large area fenced off at the moment. It's a shame it's all fenced off in the height of the season. It makes the area look a bit tatty and run down. Still plenty of room to walk on this very wide promenade. Bathing beauties, the Camera Obscura, a hut for gazing and canoodling, Come Up and See Me, Eyes Wide Shut, the Cloud Bar, that's at Anderby Creek, and a beach hut. It was conceived in 2005. And the same notice again for the Coast and Country Trail. So the fenced off area and continuing along Sutton-on-Sea Promenade. This is the Sutton-on-Sea Main Street, the main access. Let's have a look down here to see if we can find a morning paper. Bathing water quality, excellent. So I shall go down here and have a look and see if I can find a paper shop of some sort. 7:41, Sutton-on-Sea. About an hour and 20 from Anderby. This road will be closed here 28th of July. Sutton-on-Sea High Street. The Bacchus Hotel is still here. Rather quiet High Street at the moment, 7:45. That's a new area. Luxury cabin, luxury log cabin for hire. Notice board. So that's the paper sorted out at the local spa shop. They accepted the Times voucher. Back to the seafront on the England coast path, past the Dolphin Fish and Chips. And here's a local bus going to Skegness, the 59. It turns down there. There's the long road to the Sutton-on-Sea chalet site. It's back over the pullover to the England coast path. There's an England coast path sign. Strangely, it's only pointing one way. It certainly has come from the right. And off we go. In front of the chalets. Still at Sutton-on-Sea. The promenade at Sutton-on-Sea. Definitely used to be steps here. Lots of sun now, an established grass area. We've got some signs for the England coast path on the signpost there. The sun's still rather hazy, not a light cloud. No doubt to be burnt off during the day for another hot one. A nice spare cat. Well, that's the site where I used to have a chalet, but no sign of the chalets now. All these rather large static caravans. Bohemia Promenade. Another diversion to see what the chalet park is like. It still has some of the original chalets by the look of it. Continuing along on the promenade. It's now 8 o'clock. 1 and 2 diversions. Promenade completely empty. 8:05. Looking south from a footpath that goes over the sea defence. We've got a circus for the season, I suppose, and in the distance we've got the home of some sort at the end of Mablethorpe. Sign indicating the public footpath through the caravan site and the England coast path along the promenade all the way to North End. Sluice access to the sea. Trusthorpe, I think this one is. Both diverge, one inland, one out to sea, and the straight on one. More signs. I'm not sure, but I thought that the water was visible here. Has it been put in a pipe? Trusthorpe Point. For sale. And the gift shop and toilets at the end here. Such a shame that the England Coast Path has to come away and can't follow the promenade around there. There's the sign that tells us that it goes inland slightly. Keep out, you're not allowed to walk around there, which is such a pity. It ought to be made a condition of the planning application, I think, that you could go around there. But no, we're down there onto the road. And it's here. Probably safer to cross over and go on the pavement. Lake beach, large private parking, residents only. I assume we go straight along here. So along this path, I think somewhere along here I stayed in the late 40s. Somewhere like one of these. The tomatoes for breakfast were cooked in a different way from what I was used to at home. They were whole instead of being mashed. I haven't seen the sign telling us that this is the right way. It is on this post here, and it's telling us to get back onto the promenade. And that's the bit we're not allowed to go on. So, back onto the promenade, up and over the steps there. Queen's Park prom. So coming towards the centre of Mablethorpe. It's now 8:25. The sun gone in, hazy again. Mablethorpe Beach, nicely smoothed out for the next day. An old water tower there, not used as a water tower anymore by the look of it. And continue along the front. You are now entering the blue flag area. It's a shame to go on that beach and disturb that. It's so nice and neat. Lifeguards and lifeboats. Further along the promenade we're coming to the entertainment centre. Ready for another busy day. The front at Mablethorpe is very nicely done. The concrete patterns or stones on the floor, the nice looking seats, and of course the clean beach. What more could you want? So coming to the pullover at Mablethorpe. There's a photo of me aged about 4 or 5 coming up this pullover. So more than half a century ago. Let's have a look at this pullover down the main street at Mablethorpe. I don't think the main street's altered very much, but the pullover certainly has. So continuing along the England Coast Path. Got some more signs. Saltfleet 6.5 miles. Well, not along the England Coast Path, but that's ready for the next piece. Not yet open for fish and chips. Perhaps there's not too many wanting fish and chips on these hot days. Mablethorpe Point and the outflow. It's called Mablethorpe Outfall and Tunnel. And there's North End. does the walk finish at the end of the tarmac part, or does it go further on along the sand? Obviously dogs allowed on this part of the beach, not on the main beach. This is where the tarmac ends. I can't see any signs telling us to go any further. No signs telling us to go along the beach, so I'll stop here. There are some steps up here, so I'll go up here and up these steps. Checking the map, I see that it does indeed go out onto the sand, the purple part indicating the sand before you get to the dunes. So it's along there, right to North End. Back down the steps then, and the tractor that smooths the sand on its way down that track, which, since it's rather compressed, is the way I think I'll follow. Makes it a bit easier to walk along the sand. One or two gnomes here for you to admire. That's the way I've come. Over onto the promenade and then onto the sand. That's the way. But there's no sign that tells us that we go on the beach. So down onto the beach, and following this track. The Environment Agency telling everybody that they've planted warm grass to stabilise the sand dunes. Still following the track from the tractor to the drown. It continues north along the beach to North End. The tractor's now returning, so I'll have to move off this track very soon. It's taking a different route, so I don't need to move up the track. It's gathering up rubbish from the wheelie bins. So this is where the tractor went this morning. There's another bin further on. Is this North End? I shall have to go over pull over here and have a look. Now this is Mablethorpe Seaview car park. I think we've still got a bit further to go. The road goes along to north. So I'll come off the sea part of the walk. Let's see whether we're at North End yet. Come down onto where the road is. We have a cinema, and it looks as if I've been following the route anyway. It comes to a sign that says that's the way I've come from, and so it's along here. The map doesn't indicate that we go along here, but there is an official sign, so I'm going to carry on along here. So I crossed over the road at that point because there's no footpath on that side. Passing Mablethorpe Chalet and Caravan Park, Seedwood Homes for Sale, Live by the Sea. Got some signs here, England Coast Path again. North End at the end of this road. 9 o'clock now. Hollyvans, it says on that sign. Holidays in caravans, Hollyvans. Now at this entrance to the caravan site we do have a right turn. It's taking us up over the dunes again, onto the beach perhaps. So up and over. Quite a wide dune area now. Following the path. And that's a very useful sign. Have they been snapped off? So assume we carry on. The approaching a seal sanctuary at Mablethorpe. And the sign there. This is coming up to the car park at North End. So that's the main entrance to the Seal Sanctuary and Wildlife Centre. North End car park, so I assume this is North End, where that section of the England coast path finishes. Mablethorpe town, 1.5 miles. So there's the access to the beach, ferry boat in, the turning circle, and the road goes out there.